Good evening, how are we all? Here we are again. Yeah, another Anvil 5. Yet again we're playing with RemoteTech. Had a great idea. Think it'll work. We're about to find out. I'm not going to tell you quite what it is until we get to Minmus though. It does involve sticking satellites around Minmus. I can tell you that much. Anvil 5, again a nighttime takeoff. I have brightened it a little bit just to try and so you can see something. Yes, I'm using MechJet. No, I don't care. Not really much else to say here. This is an Anvil 5 rocket with a light enough payload, not much up front, but I did stick on some solid rocket boosters to give them a little bit more delta V once I get to Minmus. I suspect I'm going to have way more than I actually need, but it's certainly worth a try. Well, it's not worth a try, you know what I mean. Better to have more delta V than too little, especially with what I'm planning to do. Never done what I've never done it before. I think I don't want to get halfway through what I'm trying to do and then run out of fuel. As you know, RemoteTech requires, oh, there we go, solid rocket boosters away. RemoteTech requires a sweet view. Missed that one. Requires, because there's no Kerbals on this spacecraft, it does require remote control. So therefore I have various overkill antennas, Communicon 16, the 32. The other one that's always on, that's only 500 kilometers plus. There's also a dish that goes out to 50,000 kilometers. The usual one, whatever it is, the DTS something or other. So, cruising for circularization, or whatever it's called. I can't quite read it because this again is not a live recording. I do like the Anvil 5 rocket set. Very nice, very stable, works really well. Has a little bit of monopropellant. The only thing I really have a problem with it is it doesn't have. It tends to eat a lot of electricity, but that's probably the way that I tend to fly it. I'll tend to whoosh. I think that's really good. I do like the nose cone drop-offs. Normally I do them separate from detaching the booster stage, just because it looks cool. And again, when I recorded this, I just turned the recorder on and didn't really think about planning for the for any video we did. Most of everything I've done is post-processing. I've cut a lot of it out. It was something like a 3-hour mission. So, you know, there's a lot going on. But we'll get there. We will, burning, 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 burning. Constantly burning. You'll have to excuse any small noises of small children in the background. I didn't realise I'd left the mic open. Thankfully there was no swearing. Well. Oh, comment if you can, if you hear any bad language. Probably from me, hopefully from me, certainly from my children. So now you can see what we've got on the end of the satellite. Not very well, because as per usual, it's pretty dark, which is generally my fault. I'm very good at taking off in the dark. Whenever I do it in the daytime, I tend to crash the thing. Oh, Minmus and Kerbal. Pretty pictures. That's a bit scary, isn't it? Look at that. So we'll set the alarm clock to get the maneuver node, just record the maneuver node. I occasionally, if I'm flying manually, I'll make the mistake. I know I'm doing it all automatically here, but I'll make the mistake of... Is that a first? Grief. Okay. Evidently that's the first getting around Minmus for me. Well, it actually, yes, to be fair, it is in this save, this game save. Yeah, as I was saying, I tend to overshoot if I don't use the alarm clock to slow it down. I just hit fast forward way too much and don't slow it down until I realise I've gone a couple of hours past, which tends to cause a problem because I end up not being able to perform the manoeuvre. I don't like saving. I don't like reloading. Beep. There you go. So we get into something like a 350 kilometre orbit around Minmus. And then we start doing what? And we actually start executing the big plan. It's very exciting because I had this brainwave, and I'm sure somebody else has had it, and I'm going to get comments where people are saying, oh, you're only copying Scott Manley or Harv or one of the other posters. Excuse the screaming in the background. There's no swearing, honestly. But the idea is, as you remember on the Mun, I've got 3 satellites, and I ended up scrapping them and restoring them, but reinstalling new satellites to try and spread them out, which seems to work okay. But I'm a little concerned there's always going to be a problem where one of those or none of those satellites will be able to communicate with home. Anyway, here we have this is the actual beast. 12 small stay Sputnik Yokis with 3 200 whatever batteries, 2 1x6 solar panels, and a Communitron 16 on each unit. That's probe number 1 being launched as we watch. I think it's rather beautiful, don't you? The Communitron 16 gives 2,500 kilometers range. As you can see, I've got a lot of probes to drop. You are going to be lucky in that you're not going to get to watch every single one. Believe me, it took me, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours with pauses and getting pulled away from the family. So we're not going to show you the entire thing. What we will show you is, after a little bit of fast forwarding, a manoeuvre. So what I'm going to end up doing is doing a little manoeuvre and slowing down or speeding up the orbit so I can drop another probe. I think I got to 4 probes, and I changed the angle of the orbit so that we can have full coverage across Minmus between each other, and eventually, now obviously none of these probes have a long enough range to hit home. We'll worry about that later on. We'll get the probes in position first. There's number, I don't know, I think that's number 2. I know when I edited the video I did cut a lot of it out. In a second we'll be getting to the point where we'll probably be at number 10, 11 and 12. But that's, I think, it's number 3. 1, 2 or 3. Sorry, the cat's just attacked me. It scared the proverbial out of me. Then again, I am a wimp. So that was number 2 we just launched. We're going to launch number 3 here by the looks of it. We'll just my biggest worry was that I was going to run out of power. I didn't put any solar panels on the actual rocket itself, which I was thinking about constantly, but I didn't actually realise at the very end when I launched the last probe that I was going to run out of power on the rocket. Because I had no solar panels, my intention was on this rocket was to use a Communitron 16 or 32 that's already fitted on board the actual engine, and the dish that's communicating back with Kerbal, that I was going to use that as one of the communication methods for allowing all the these little Minmus satellites to communicate with Kerbal. Battery ran out in about 30 seconds. There was a bit of swearing at the time. Not very much, but hey, you know, we can fix it easily enough. So we battle on dropping probes, going round and round in circles, and burning very, very small amounts. 10, 15 M3 Delta V every burn. I think even a lot less at times. It was 1 or 2. Surprising how little you need to change orbits. See, that was what, 3? And all these orbit changes are to combat the previous problems on the moon, where all the probes were orbiting too close to each other. And again, opening more, yet more and more panels, and I'm sure we've seen this bit already. I don't know. So we end up dropping more and more of these puppies eventually. We'll have a fast forward in a couple of seconds. So we drop more and more of these in 3 different orbits, all orbiting at different periaps and apoapsis. The idea being that they all spread out a bit and you don't end up with everything around one side or another. It's obviously, it takes a little bit longer than dropping 3, but I think it'll work out a lot better. So we fast forward a bit, we dropped an awful lot. We're getting now, I think that's 3 of them. We're dropping the 4th one. Keep on going. And we fast forward here to them all dropped. Now, I didn't show you the rest because I wanted to show you this. So we have 3 different orbits, or 3 different, I don't know quite what the word is, but you can see what's going on. I'm turning on the connections there and between the probes there to show you what's going on. Now this is where I get to the point where I'm going to, the rocket booster, I was going to throw it out into that orbit and use it as comms link between those small satellites and back to Kerbal. It didn't work, as you can see. So we'll just end up launching some satellites with dishes. I think I'll just ignore this one. I don't know. Maybe I'll use it. I'll just drop some. I can use the docking ports to stick something on it to give it power. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, best of luck. See you next time.